Welcome back to View From My Window. Now remember, I'm going to break it down to y'all again. View From My Window is the stories, not technically looking out my window, but the stories from my eyes and, how I saw it growing up. In South Philly, I lived out Wilson. So our neighborhood schools was Orton Reed, Vare, McDaniel, a few other schools. So everybody I knew went to Vare. That was the school. I think I wanted to go to Vare, but moms didn't want me to go to Vare, so she sent me to Thomas. Thomas was cool for me, but one of the worst experiences that I had when it came to being from Wilson and being at 9th and Mifflin. It was like a double-edged sword. You had, not only did you had back then when you were walking from 9th and Mifflin to 9th and Snyder to catch the 79, getting jumped by the white boys because you were black at that time, going through that neighborhood to get home. But then when Wilson would fight Passyunk, you had to worry about you homeboys you thought was your homeboys, telling them you the only cat from Wilson and go to that school. So those are the things, and I got a story to tell. So when I went to Thomas, I met 3 cats, man. Jeffro Brown, Jeremiah Brown, and Jason was the little brother. My man Jeffrey Casey went there as well. Basil Phillips, Benjamin, Xander, cats from 7th Street, 24th Street. Cree, he was in the 5th grade from Tasker, he went there. So back then, Thomas, it was different because, I went there from 5th grade to 6th grade. I had a real good time at Thomas. I was real cool with everybody from multiple areas of the city. By the time I got to the 7th grade, things started really getting hectic with fights in the neighborhoods. So my man Odie used to come up to the school all the time. Who knows why Odie used to come up to Thomas? He should have been in school. But he used to come up to the school and meet me, and we would walk to 9th and Snyder to catch the bus. Now that was a battle. We would walk 2 blocks. We would get 2 blocks up from Thomas, and then next thing you know, a hockey stick. You getting hit in the head with a hockey stick because the white boys would wait from McCain Street and would walk and stop you 3 blocks before you got to Snyder Avenue. So we would have to run. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of them. And that was every day. So I had to try to get another route. So I had stopped walking. So I would wait on the 47. And, at that time, me, Jeremiah, Jeffro, and Jason, they was from Passyunk. But, we kind of had a bond, but we were cool when it came to it. But they had some other friends, that, didn't really care that I was from Wilson. So every time Wilson would fight Passyunk, who do you think that they came? They couldn't get nobody else from the Jets. Or if they lost that fight that day up at Southern or wherever they were fighting at on Broad Street, who did they come to? They would come get a few of us that was from Wilson that went to Thomas. And this one time that I always was able to avoid the situation because Jason and Jeremiah will always give me a heads up that things was going down. But this one day, they were acting a little funny. I'm walking to the bus stop, I used to always have this Tascam Walkman that I had bought. I remember it cost me like my $60 on my allowance. And I remember I made a pause tape and I recorded all my favorite songs at the radio. And at that time, I think it was The Boys. I was Heavy D, a few other people. And I'm sitting, waiting for the 47, minding my business. Because you wouldn't think, the only problem I thought I had was if I walked up to the 79 and I missed the 47, I was going to get jumped by the white boy. So I didn't walk that way. So I wasn't really tripping. As long as I'm waiting out here on the bus stop, I was fine. Man, I'm chilling, listening to music. Next thing I know, crack! Somebody throws a bottle, hit me in the side of the head. And Next thing I know, out of nowhere, all these cats from Passyunk just come out of nowhere. Now they had to got off the bus, and it was about maybe 10, 11 of them. And I got jumped that day. But serious thing, when I got jumped that day, Jeremiah, Jason, and Jethro actually came and helped me. And a weird thing happened. From that, getting jumped and them coming to the rescue and them telling them who I was, a relationship was created between me, a few other cats from Passyunk, Vic, a few other dudes, Cheeks. A relationship, Rob. A relationship was created with those guys. And what ended up happening, me and Odie and a few other, Odie, Mike, we would go out the Yunk to parties. They would come out Wilson to see us. And I remember Cheeks and Rob and them used to come out the projects to see us, and we would hang together. And it was a whole vibe. It even got to the point where we would they would walk us up to Snyder Avenue, because they knew if we walked past 2 blocks from Thomas, we was getting jumped. So it even got to that point where we got tired of getting jumped by the white boys. And the crazy thing, by the time I got in 8th grade, them same white boys, cousins and older guys that we went to school with became friends. Will and Vinny and all those dudes, as we got older, became great friends. That's why I said that, that experience in middle school was a gift and a curse. It took a few war hits to, get to that finish line, but it created some friendships that lasted until high school. To this day, I haven't talked to Jeremiah, Jethro, and Jason in a long time. I haven't seen Basil in a while. I just seen Jeffrey Casey not too long ago. I haven't seen Cheeks and all of those guys from the Young. Hopefully they doing good. I know William Lambert, he passed away. Vinny committed suicide, and rest in peace to him. I know Louis, who runs Fuel. A few of those guys are still doing their thing. But my journeys to Thomas Middle School. Now, if I would have went to Vere, I probably wouldn't even made it to high school. All of my friends, everybody went to Vere. I probably would have been in something every day. I probably would have ended up going to Southern and would have been going through some of the same things that DJ and them was going through when they went there. So going to Thomas was a gift and a curse.